Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. My plan for today was to get this wall fixed to the bottom cord of the truss up there and then put in all the blocking, which would complete the wall, but I've had a change of plans. Here's the problem. The batteries that are in this thermostat, as soon as it gets a little bit below freezing, the thermostat quits working. Once it gets down to freezing, the thermostat quits working, and it is getting colder and colder every day. It's probably about 14 degrees right now. I actually keep this in the house and then bring it out here when I'm ready to go to work, plug it in, and it'll be at whatever it's at. But today it got down below freezing and it turned off. So I can't use the furnace when the thermostat is off like that. It just says low and it won't work. So that got me thinking, my next step, once I get this fastened and the blocking in and stuff, my next step would be to put the XPS foam on the face of this wall. But I'm going to be doing that with adhesive and plastic caps. You put the adhesive on here and then nail it in place with the plastic caps, and that holds it in place until the adhesive is dry. That adhesive is not going to work at like 16, 17 degrees. It's just going to freeze up. It's water-based. So what I'm going to need to do is take my plastic. Where is that stuff? Oh, it's over there. I was hoping I could just return this stuff. I got enough plastic to cover the wall, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to cover this wall. I'm just going to do it really quick. I got to cut this into 4 pieces for it to fit, and then I'll just staple it along the top there and let it hang down. I'm not going to staple it onto the studs or anything like that. All I need to do is trap the heat in here, and that'll do the trick. Also, none of this stuff is insulated. There's 4 feet of uninsulated tin up there, so I got to get up there, get that taped, and get it insulated. That way, I can just lay a piece of plastic across the top from the insulation over to the top of the truss cord right there, and seal that up. I'm guessing the plastic itself will take, probably an hour, maybe a little more, because I got to move the ladder around and stuff. I'm not sure about the plastic on the top. That may take another hour, so a couple hours on that. But that insulation, that's going to take an entire day. So what I'm going to do is just start on fixing this wall. The wall needs to be fixed in place first. What I'm going to do is shove shims up there, throw a screw through, trim the shims off, do that all the way across, and then get this wire out of the way. Then I can start on that plastic. I can do the blocking at any time. If I just have loose plastic right here, I can get in there and get the blocking in at a later date. So we have below zero, 7 below zero coming like this Friday, but it's going to be relatively warm, like 30 degrees for a high or 25 degrees for a high. It's going to be like that for the next 5 days. So I've got 5 days to get this foam on. So I'm going to switch gears and do just like I said, and I'm going to start with getting this fixed in place. I was going to cut this little block of scrap up into 1/4-inch shims so I didn't have to use up a ton of shims, but I have a ton of shims, and my extension cord for the saw is being used for all this stuff, so I'll have to just use shims. No big deal. Hopefully I have enough wood ones to do the trick. This should go pretty fast. Wanted to show you this real quick. I got the heater on. This was up to 78 degrees, when I put it on, and it's already down to 63. Once it gets to 32, it's going to say low, and it's just going to shut the furnace off. I can't have that keep happening. Once I have that plastic in, it should hold in enough heat to keep this warm so that the furnace can keep working while I get all this other stuff done. I got the heat working again. I put the thermostat back on and turned it on, and it went down to 34 and then just stayed at 34 for a long time. Then it started rising in temperature in here, so it stayed working. All right, I have all of this stuff fastened in place all the way up to here. I'm going to show you one right here. That's probably all you need to see. All I gotta do is take out the temporary blocking. You could see the wall move a little bit. When I put these in, I got the wall as flat to the bottom cord as I could. But in some cases, it wasn't all the way flat. And as I've been putting these in, I'm taking a clamp and yanking it until it's dead flat. I believe, yeah, that's right there already. So, I'm gonna go 2 down. Been using my little cutoffs here. That one ain't gonna work. We get real narrow down that way, so not much of a problem down there, but some of these gaps down that way were 4 shims, and that's because the bottom cord of this truss is not necessarily going to be flat to start with. You could see that there's a good 1/4 of an inch right here where it's just not lined up right, and the floor itself is concrete, so that's not going to be perfect either. All right, that's good enough. And then the bottom cord is only 1.5 inches thick, so I gotta go about 3/4 of an inch in and in the center of the shims. And the shims are there so that I don't pull the top plate off of the wall. If I were to just throw screws up there, it would yank this top plate right off of the studs and pull it up to the bottom cord there. In a couple of places, I fixed it just like I yanked it out flush and I threw a screw in there, but once it was flush with the surface, I stopped screwing. If you're gonna screw into the wood like that, you can't do without the shims. Hopefully I was aiming correctly. I have a history of not aiming correctly. So that's it. This is sturdy as all get out. Now I'm going to move 2 more openings away and do it again. This DeWalt multi-tool is one of the best purchases I've made in quite some time. Alright, I'm gonna have to move right in between here. I gotta go on the other side and cut these flush on that side as well, but I'm gonna get down to the end and then work my way back doing that, and then work my way back again with the plastic. Beautiful. Like I said, once you get down here, it's a lot tighter. We're at one shim. Alright, I got the last of the fixing screws in, and when I got to the edges of the doorway, I put a little bit extra in because this is a tall wall with no extra support. I didn't do that on this wall because this wall is going to have another wall teeing off and going over to that post over there, and it's going to have a ledger running right through here. This wall is going to be stiff as all get out up to this point, and then it goes to a 12-foot tall wall. Not that this is weak or anything, this is strong as all get out. And once the bracing's in here and it's skinned on both sides, this will be strong as hell. But I want this extra beef right around this door because this is the door that's going to be used the most, and it's a bit weaker than it is on that side. Alright, I gotta clean this area out, and yep, that area down there as well. Move this ladder, and then I'll work my way across cutting off the other side. Okay, got everything cleaned out. I think I'm gonna move these boards as well, but I can't move this extension cord yet. It's what the furnace is plugged into, but I do have to move this one. And I think I'm going to take this light out. I was using it to light up this corner during the summer when I was working right here most of the day, but I'm not doing that anymore, so it doesn't need to be there. And the rest of this cord needs to be in the shop because obviously I'll be working on the wall here. So yeah, let me get that done, then we'll come back and get that plastic in. The reason that I'm getting work done and then coming back and filming is that the camera will shut off. If I put it on the tripod, the camera will get too cold and shut off. So I can't really do that until I get this thing heated and nice and toasty all the time. The camera is a problem. All right, let's get these cords taken care of and get moving on this. All right. I ran into something while I was doing these cords, and I'm kind of glad I ran into it now before it's too late. I forgot that I wired these attic lights up to here and then temporarily had them connected to an extension cord over there. They're wired up to the light circuit so that they would go on and off with the lights. Now, I don't need them on all the time, but I have to do something with the cord here, and I'm not exactly sure what my plan was. I got to see how long this cord is, if I can go down and over and go down through the same conduit that the sub panel is going to go through. It's kind of looking like it's not long enough, but we'll see. Yeah, it goes way to the floor right there. I think it probably is long enough. Alright, I'm going to have to kind of like mock it up, get it over there and then across, and then see if it makes it. If it does make it, I'll just plug it in where I got everything else plugged in when I need light up here. I don't need light up here right now, but I'm going to have to take care of this. I can't put a buried box up here or anything. I could also just come right down and put a switch right in here somewhere and then wire up to it when I get the wall wired, but I don't know. Let's see how far it goes. It's all starting to come back now. That's why I wired this thing so far this way and then went back to the light there. I figured out how much cord it would take to get down to here and then wired it back that way to plug it into that circuit. Yeah, this was what I had planned. I had planned on having a switch right by the attic door at one point, but then there's going to be two attic doors. Do I put in a three-way or all kinds of nonsense like that? And then I just decided I'll wire it over to here and then put an indicator light on it so I can see if it's on by mistake or not. So all's good. I just need to get this cord up to here and get both of these plugged into it when I need to use those attic lights again. It's actually not that bad out here. Well, it's actually really nice out here. What do we got? 41. That's 1 degree warmer than your refrigerator. Okay, so move these boards and get this stuff cut. Then I'm gonna try to take a real quick lunch and then get back out here and wrap it up. Get that plastic done and then wrap it up for the day. All right, this should go about as quick as I can move the ladder. These are going to be pretty darn easy. Well, the plastic ones are a little harder, but still not hard. My propane line in the way here. Almost to the end. Yeah, like I said, this is going really quick. It's probably been 10 minutes. All right, just leave the ladder here, and when I get back, cut some plastic. I'm gonna have to bring a driver up here. I got a couple screws that were holding something in place. Those gotta go. All right, plastic is next. Okay, grab our thermostat here. It is at 75. This will be kind of interesting. What I'm going to do is put the camera on a tripod right about here, right in the heat, so the camera doesn't turn off. And if I turn this heater on, it shouldn't turn off, because I don't think it's going to get down that cold, just like it didn't before. Hopefully this just turns on right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Nothing so far. But yeah, this is going to drop, and then the heater will kick on and catch it before it gets down to freezing. But I'm going to start working on the plastic, and we'll see what that does to the temperature in here. I'm guessing that it's going to drop, and then as soon as I start getting that plastic in here, the temperature is going to go way the heck up. At least that's what I'm thinking. Oh, that's right. You gotta mess with this until it says temporary. At least that's what I believe you gotta do. I'll be putting a new thermostat in here pretty soon. So this is just for the meantime. Come on. Let's see what the temperature is over on this one. You can see it's melting outside, but that's because the sun's out. It is 37 degrees in here, which is a little cooler than your refrigerator. I'm gonna guess that goes way the heck up once the plastic starts going in. If I can ever get this to work. Not a real reliable thermostat for a shop. The one I'm gonna be putting in is right here. And I'll do an unboxing and all that stuff when it gets to that, but I'll be able to control that from my phone. That was a Christmas present, a real awesome Christmas present. All right, it's going. We got 64 here, 37 over there. We'll put this on the tripod and start getting the plastic in and check back on these when I'm done. And ignition. You can see the flame at the right angle. Not sure if you'll be able to see it or not. All right, let's get going. All right, this has been up for a couple minutes, probably 5 minutes now. You can tell that there's air coming pretty rapidly under the door and over there. That's because we have a flue effect. All the heat is rising and then going rapidly through that slot right there, so it's drawing air from the other side. This is what I'm going to be working on tomorrow. I'm going to get the rest of this taped and insulated, and if I can't insulate all the way across, I'll put plastic there. I'll just drape some plastic over it and we'll stop that flue effect, and I'll put a strip right here right away. I cut these sheets. They're supposed to be 25 feet long. I cut them at 12.5 feet long, and that's what I got with that one. That's how they both should be, a little bit on the ground. And this one's shy as well. I think they shorted me probably 2 feet, something like that. Yeah, 1.5 feet, 2 feet on this one, maybe a little over a foot on that one. So their dimensions are approximate. All right, yeah, that looks good. I can't remember what the temperature was on this one. The other one was 37 degrees, but it's 44 already. If I can get it up above freezing, that's all I need to do tomorrow, so I can keep working. This won't shut off if it's above freezing. And we'll see what this one was. From 37 to, that's at 51 right now. I know for a fact that just by leaving the heater on for a while, I can get this up 20 degrees warmer than normal, so I could probably get this up to 60 the way it is. But once I get this next row insulated, even without having the foam on this wall, it's gonna get toasty warm in here. So this will be tomorrow, and then right away after that, we're gonna start with the foam. This place is gonna be sealed up nice and tight before the real cold weather gets here next weekend. I think I mentioned, but it's gonna get 7 below zero at night, one of the nights in the 10-day forecast. But there's like 3 or 4 days where it's below zero overnight. So when you get out here in the morning, that's the temperature it is out here. So it takes a long time to warm up in here. Hopefully this is going to help. Well, actually, by the time it gets cold like that, I should have the majority of this done and not have to worry about it. So if you want to see all that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.